score. I have to question, is having 3 martinis too much? Well, if you ask the question, that means it's probably too much.
Once again, welcome to Yes, I'm Still Sober podcast with John Rabin. This is episode 26. And I am recording this later than usual, which means this will go out later than usual, which means nothing. It just... You guys are going to listen to it when you listen to it. Doesn't matter. I don't know if there's actually someone out there going, it's not... It comes up at 2 o'clock on Wednesday. Where the fuck is it? It'd be really nice if I had those kind of fans, but I don't think I do, and that's okay. I hope everybody's gotten their Christmas shopping done. I've gotten mine done, except that I have 3 gifts from my girlfriend, and they're all shipping. You know, and they're all not going through Amazon, so I'm not, control issues with my expectations are just because I don't know when they're gonna be here. They're like could be today. That's the range, like the 19th through the 26th. Oh well, that's after Christmas. You said when I bought it would be before Christmas, but you're dealing with not FedEx or Amazon, so I don't know how UPS and DHL stay in business. I don't know. They seem like from another time period. They seem like remember when you would buy something and you never know when you were going to get it? Yeah. So what, 5 years ago? Yeah, they seem like from another time period, aka 2013. That's what they seem like. So just waiting on that. And that's a thing also related to that. I just kind of mentioned it. I think I didn't mean to, but I guess that's what's on my mind, is dealing with its expectations set when something happens, and I'm told something that I think is the way, even though I should know that things don't always go to plan, but when an expectation is set in my head and then that expectation is not met, that's when I get irritated. And I still, after all these years, it's all 6 of them, I still do not have great self-control in hiding my emotions. You can tell when I don't like you, and you can tell when I'm annoyed. You can tell when I'm impatient, and when I don't want to be there. Like it's, maybe someday I'll figure out how to mask that again, to where just put on the customer service face or something, just for everyday people. Hi, no, things are fine. No, it's great. No, of course I'm not. Just fuming with anger. This is no. See the smile that's forced on my face? I don't know. Maybe I'll get to that. I do think that I need to get back to being aware of the issues, and I try to be, but I don't know. You get caught up in your emotions, and you forget to breathe, because that's a real thing. Breathing. When just mindful breath. And I don't want to get all, Eastern philosophy, which I love, and get all like guru sounding fuck. But I do, there is something to that where you just breathe, all right, it's going to be all right. Just, you're alive on the planet. It's just a thing, and it doesn't matter. It's like when it's all said and done, none of this is going to matter when you're dead. Something like that. Maybe your method might be a little bit more positive, but to each his own. I read, I don't know how long this is going to go, by the way. I have no idea. This may be a very short podcast. So I'm going to warn you. Not that that matters to you, but yeah, just heads up. Probably not going to be 30 minutes. So I have a theory that drug use with harder drugs and prescription drugs taken illegally or abused, I have a theory that usage of drugs like opiates and meth and different things, that there's been an increase in them because of the normalization and legalization of weed. Now hear me out. It's because I see people, on a day-to-day basis, I see people who vape weed, the oil. And it's done so casually now. There's no ritual to it. It's easy to obtain. It's not a big deal. The squares are smoking weed. See, I think the big part of enjoying drugs is having to go buy them illegally from somebody who might kill you. Like, just putting yourself in a dangerous situation to obtain even weed, And then you're having to take it and then go home and you're like, oh shit. And you get home and you're like, yeah. Like there's a thrill to that. And I think when you take that out of it and you normalize it so much to where it's just like you went to the store and you bought aspirin, but now that's how weed is. I think that then people go, well, let's go to stuff that's really illegal because of the thrill. And I think the thrill is gone. Yes, I think that. I'm not saying we need to make weed illegal again, completely illegal, but maybe. No, it's just, I think that that's what happens. I think when it just gets boring, people didn't see that coming. 20 years ago, I don't remember my friends going, man, if only pot was legal, man, then it could be available everywhere and it wouldn't be a big deal and it'd be regulated and normalized and normal people would be smoking it and it just would be boring as fuck. Man, I can't wait for that to happen. It's a theory. That's what I think. I wish that people would leave comedians alone. In general, the best way to deal with a comedian that you don't like or that you're offended by is to not laugh or watch again. Not laughing is the way to deal with them, because when a joke doesn't work, we tend to not do it again. There's nothing else that needs to be done. And I'm thinking about this generally. There's just a bunch of different things. And I had a conversation recently. I didn't talk about it the past few weeks, but also, just side note, I don't give a shit about the Oscars, and I don't give a shit about, and Kevin Hart and all that stuff. I will say this. If you're scrolling through anyone's Twitter feed to look for something, to get them, you can go fuck yourself. You really need to rethink your life and what you're doing. You need to step back and go, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with social media? Also, maybe quit using Twitter when you're fucked up. That's a totally side note. You guys need to stay off of social media. You really need to figure out some way to lock your phone if you're going to start drinking or whatever. Or just don't, or maybe just, you need to realize just in general maybe not putting every single thought in your head out into social media is a good idea. But that being said, we're in this thing that the only way, anytime you see something, you need to disregard what people say. It's just thoughts. A fucked up thing you read that somebody said does not identify, that's not their identity. One statement that came out of somebody's fucked up brain doesn't represent everything about them. People have no idea about context anymore. It's like when people get talking about no context. People have no historical context. Like with the "Baby It's Cold Outside" song, that's like, this is kind of date rapey. Well, yeah, if you think if it was written this year, it was written by the guy who wrote Guys and Dolls, for fuck's sake. He's written 700 songs, and it's a song he wrote in 1944 that he and his wife used to sing at parties. It's not about date rape, you fucking idiot. Where's your brain when you're looking at stuff? It's just a song. The context has changed because you're not thinking in terms of context over time. You're thinking of it now like it's something like, like Flo Rida just wrote it or some shit. It wasn't done. That Flo Rida should write a Christmas carol. That'd be interesting. Nobody writes any new Christmas carols. But that's the thing is, it's just, I think that people just have lost their fucking minds because they're on the internet too much and they're reading things. And you're not reading news anymore. You're reading, somebody said a thing. You're reading it. I know I've brought that up many times. It's just people just lose their fucking minds. And people, so there was a discussion at work. And it was just randomly about Louis C.K. performing at Comedy Cellar again. And people are like, because they know that I used to, I've opened for him and, friendly acquaintances with him for a while, 16 years ago, something like that. We haven't kept in touch since then, but it just asked me what my opinion about that whole thing is, and I think I think the opinion I gave was I didn't give a shit. It's none of my business because I don't live in New York. It's not a club I go to. I don't see him. I think that people want to have an opinion about something. I think that for some reason people think that something needs to be done when it doesn't. See, that's one of the best things about being a comedian is you are your own boss. You can't get him fired, you guys. Just because he's performing again, if that bothers you, why? You're not going to the show. You're not giving him money. The whole idea is if somebody's performing, you don't like it, you leave. Or you don't laugh. And at some point, they'll quit getting booked or don't go to that club. My personal opinion is after everything that we've learned about Louis with the different stuff in the past, which was a long, I'm not going to watch him do comedy. It feels gross. I'm like, sorry, man, I can't get that out of my head. Do not want to hear you tell jokes. That's what it comes down to me. No. Some people have issues, and I'm like, you know what? I can't enjoy comedy from you. I don't need it. It's just, I think that people get worked up. They feel like, we got to do something. No, you don't. You don't. Quit doing things. You're not doing anything. You want to do something to things that don't matter, and then things that do matter, you don't do shit. You donate money to people's GoFundMes for their stupid web series or their dumb thing that, that they're raising money for, but you won't donate money for causes that you believe in. It's weird. You don't volunteer because that requires actually leaving. And by you, I also mean me. I'm saying you because it feels good to be accusatory. But like, I don't either. Yeah. It's just, there was I think what really set me off on this is there was, it was the guy, there was an Indian comedian, I don't have his name, but he got hired to do a show at Columbia University, college kids, and he told a joke, and they got offended by a joke, or at least the people the organizers, and then they pulled him from stage in the middle of his performance. And joke was really funny, actually, but and it really wasn't that offensive. It was just because of the subject specifically. And I was kind of looking at it and looking at stuff, and I found this is not in the U.S. This is actually in Europe. This thing that I'm looking at, but this comedian posted this on social media. He goes, "I just received an invitation to perform comedy, quote unquote, at a university. The title of this contract nearly made me puke." And the contract is called the Behavioral Agreement Form. And this is what it says. This comedy night organized by Society aims to provide a safe space for everyone to come together to share and listen to comedy, with all proceeds donated to UNICEF. This is a chance for all to be entertained and overjoyed by the different performances here on this day, 23rd January 2019. Hence the importance of this contract. That's not a sentence. This contract has been written to ensure an environment where joy, love, and acceptance is reciprocated by all. Jesus, that sounds horrible. By signing this contract, you are agreeing to our no tolerance policy with regards to racism, sexism, classism, ageism, ableism, homophobia, biphobia, transphobia, xenophobia, Islamophobia, or anti-religion or anti-atheism. Well, this sounds like a whole lot of fun. This does sound like a place where love, joy, and acceptance is reciprocated by all. All topics must be presented in a way that is respectful and kind. How is that funny? Can you be kind and funny? I don't know. It does not mean that these topics cannot be discussed. Oh, of course not. But it does mean that. But it must be done in a respectful and non-abusive way. Holy shit, man. Why are you even having a comedian? I mean, I guess a prop comic? Maybe you could get a ventriloquist? No. Most ventriloquists are racist. That's why they have the puppet. They say really mean shit. It's like, it wasn't me, it was the puppet. Pointing at his hand. It's just, I don't know, it just gives universities a bad name. I don't know what it is. I don't think, I'm changing my view. Like, I don't like lumping a whole group. You can't judge a whole group by some people. People are different. I mean, that goes back to context again. Everybody varies, of course. Everybody's different. But, I don't know, it's that mob mentality. Just get a bunch of college kids together, man. They don't want to hear anything that differs from their group thought. And I don't think it's just college kids. It's everybody, man. We get in our little, what is it? Our little bubble. Surround ourselves with people that we're comfortable every day with, their status updates and their thoughts. And the thing is, we don't listen to anybody, which is weird because every side makes good points. Even with their fucked up shit, they make a point. You can't disregard somebody's financial advice if they're also, somebody who's old and you're like, I think he might be racist. but he's giving you good financial advice. I'm not listening to your advice because you're a racist. I think, maybe. There's a good chance. Not verified, but I'm totally disregarding your really good financial advice, and I'm going to do the exact opposite. That's not smart. I don't know. You got to listen to people who don't think like you. I saw a comedian post a video the other day was just about like, look, if you've got Republican friends, well, you can get more friends, which is just a fucking stupid way of looking at life. They were in their 20s. And that the ageist, yes, because you haven't experienced life enough. You haven't understood, like, what kind of, how can you disregard somebody that you have a friendship with, but you're gonna throw them away because they don't think and believe exactly like you believe, like you're fucking right, and you may not be right, because it's just your perception. And the thing is, you'll never change your perception unless you have friends that don't think the same way that you do. And then and then when you actually talk to them, you're like, I never thought of it that way. You don't have to change your belief, but maybe you broaden it a little bit. Maybe you modify it some. That's the whole reason through going through life. You got to have people that don't think the same way that you do, who don't look the same way that you do, who don't react the same way to you do. That's how you grow, motherfucker. That's how you do it. Fuck. Who am I talking to? That's another thing. I don't know. I'm just saying. If you're listening to this, you're cool. I'm not talking to you, but maybe I am. Have some friends that don't look like you and think like you. You're going to be better for it. Also, don't perform at colleges. They're not ready. Let them. They're not adults. They're like intro to adults. They don't know. Let them fucking, Antifa is supposed to be anti-fascism. Antifa should just go on college campuses and beat the shit out of college students. That's really more to what their mission statement is. Maybe don't do that, but seriously, but it certainly feels that way. Okay. Anyway. Let comedians be. Just don't like them. It's very easy. I'm not going to laugh at that joke. That joke sucks. And then at some point, they're going to stop doing that joke. Unless they're terrible. And then they're probably not getting booked often anyway. That's the thing, is those people that try to be shocking. Like, you'll see a comic who's trying to be shocking. And he's like, and he's terrible. Just know that that's probably the only gig he's doing this month. He probably won't get booked again. He certainly won't get booked there. If he's not doing well, he won't get booked again. It's probably there because somebody owed him a favor. Yeah. Oh yeah, you got me that weed. I'm gonna book you. I don't know. Just let them be. Just let people be, man. Just like I've said before, quit reacting to a thing you saw somebody say. Just like, wow, that guy's an idiot, and just go on. Don't feel like you have to do something. Just, quit looking to be offended and are outraged. It's tiresome, and I think we all do it too much. All right, I'm going to leave on a positive note after going ape shit for about 13 minutes. It's Wednesday, and Wednesday's when I run a lot of errands because I'm off Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, so I put off to the very end all the shit I really need to do. So I went and grocery shopped. I got my hair cut, and I'm getting my hair cut and chatting with the woman who's cutting my hair, and we're just talking about, she's lived in Austin all her life, and I've been here 22 years, so we just kind of talking about, all the changes and all this other stuff, and just talking about, I mentioned that, that I've changed for over a long period of time, and that, and eventually it came out that, no longer with the booze and the drugs and stuff, and and then she goes, well, you know what, I'm in recovery as well. And I was like, really? Yeah. And she's been sober for 11 years. She was addicted to crack, and we were talking about, like, yeah, it's good to be off probation, it's amazing getting back into life. And mentioning the probation, I just kind of said that, man, it's nice to not owe anybody anything anymore. And she said, except for yourself. You need to you owe yourself a good life and happiness and to give back. And I just kind of sat there and went, wow. Like, it just, I don't know. It was, it's kind of an obvious statement, but it's nice to hear from a random person just kind of a nugget of wisdom that really pertains to you, that you didn't know you needed, and all of a sudden you got it and you're like, damn, that's fucking nice. That's really good. So yeah. So it was a good haircut, that's what I'm saying. All right. Well, hell, I almost made it to 30 minutes. This is actually, I always do that. I always think that I don't have anything much to talk about, and then I just keep going and going and going. So thank you guys for being here. The metaphorical here, and we'll see you next week. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Winter Festival. I don't know, whatever the fuck you're doing. Enjoy. Don't let your family drive you crazy. Enjoy your time with them, and we'll see you next week. This is Yes, I'm Still Sober. I'm John Raven. Later, guys.
Red wine, a little smoke, a whole lot of loving. That's all I need. Make it through the night. Cold beer.